What kicked it all off wasn't even that deep at first. Just a little back and forth between Bambi and Spice about who was being fake and who wasn't. Spice threw shade. Bomba back, pee back, CK, and within minutes, the entire room had turned from. Light jokes to raised voice eyes, side eyes, eyes toed up. Drinkin' voice was her voice was bit heavied. You always give me something slick to say, she told Spice, her tone sharp. Spice didn't back down, brushing her braids off her shoulder phase words Digia re-refazer. Nah, you're rude just sensitive. Don't blame me if your H sounds like Hade. That was all it took. The table went quiet, all eyes bouncing between. The two women, tell of wire, cling like a live wire. Yandy leaned toward Mendeecees and whispered something, trying to keep things from blowing up. But the fuse had already been lit. What nobody realized in that moment was that Erica had been sitting there simmering. She wasn't in the original argument, but you could see the way her jaw clenched, her eyes scanning the room. She was waiting. Watching. The moment Bambi brought up fake friendships and people only showing up when cameras were around, something in Erica switched. Her head snapped toward Mendeecees and Yandy. That's funny, she said loud enough for everyone to hear. Some people in here really love to perform when they think nobody's watching. Mendeecees raised his eyebrow, confused. What's his hyzos to mean? He asked, voice low but firm. Smirked and Antold smirked and smirked, then said, You know what perfects? You and you perfectuary need trip acting like y'all Abby Ree. Messier Elithati all stirring it. Yandy blinked, doesn't have anything got nothing to do with us, she said calmly. But her voice had that edge to it, tight, controlled, like she was trying not to. Let the situation get to her. Mendeecees stepped in, hands raised, an apish gesture. We're not here for all that, he said. It's supposed to be a clean slate, but Erica wasn't done. She pushed up from her seat, pointing directly at him. A clean slate, she repeated, her voice. Rising, nah, see, you don't get to shore and after varenting and pretend like you ain't part of the problem. The room got even quieter. All the little side conversations stopped. Phones were already out. Someone had hit record. Bambi and Spice were watching now, their fight completely forgotten as Erica started pacing. You want to play innocent? She said, but I remember the things you said about me. It's the little comments, the conver-ons you thought I didn't hear. Mendeecees shook his head. I don't even know what you're talking about, but Erica wasn't listening. She pointed again. Don't you re, y'all your wife loved to act like, L above like all, like you don't gossip. Like you don't get messy behind people's backs. Yandy opened her mouth to say something, but you cut her you before she could speak. And you just stand there letting him talk slick, smiling like you're not part of it. Yandy's face changed. She had nerve, old on to cracked. You got some nerves, she said quietly. You've got a problem with me, say it, but don't drag my marriage into your mess. Erica laughed bitterly. Oh, it's a mess now. I thought you were above the mess, Yandy. Isn't that what you always say? Always. Preaching about family and healing, but you pick and choose who gets your grace. Mendeecees stepped between them. This is getting out of control, he said. We need to chill out for real. But his voice didn't calm anything. It only made Erica snap. Harder, you think you can just play the peacekeeper and nobody's going to call now her hero? Nah, not no, her I'm. She stepped up closer to him now, face inches from his. Keep talking, Slick, and I promise you I'll have you locked up. The words hit the room like a grenade. Everyone froze. Gandhi's mouth opened, but say? He came out. Say? He? Hayes took a step back, stunned. What did you just say? Ask me. Erica crossed her arms. Why, heard me. I'm tired of the games. Keep pushing me and we'll see how fast things go left. Her voice was calm, but the threat in it was loud. Bambi let out a low whistle. This just went to another level, she mumbled, pulling her phone out like everyone else already had. Spice whispered something to the girl next to her, eyes wide. One of the producers standing off camera took a step forward, clearly unsure if they should cut the scene or let it play out. Mendeecees didn't move. His jaw was tight. You're threatening. To call the cops on me. For what? Erica shrugged. For whatever I feel like. Maybe for getting too close. Maybe for trying to intimidate me. Maybe for thinking you could talk to me in a round of wait just bear around, you think you're the calm one in the room. She looked around then added, let's not pretend like don't get away YAT on this show just because they keep their voices. Low, Yandy stepped in now, her voice sharp. Stop it, Erica. You're ting every though her, gee, no, I came at you. Tar her, Odie, you all a hand. You started this. Erica turned you all her eyes blazing. I started this. Nah, y'all started it when you made me feel like the crazy one. Lecturing's always doing too much when really I was needing to being pushed. Mendeecees took a brainy knee, tried to defuse the moment again. Listen, I don't want no problems. But you can't just ski because threatening people like that. Erica, but there was no warmth in it, watch and damn. He said, because next time I won't just say damn ... I'll do it. Someone in the background let out a low damn. The energy in the room had shifted completely. No more jokes, no more fake peace. This was a real line being crossed and nobody knew what was going to happen next. The cameras were rolling, producers were frozen, and in the middle of it all, E was breaking. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't crying. But her hands were shaking just a little enough Mendeecees something and see or hamendust. Something that wasn't. GOI Erica ... be easy to come back from. Mendeecees didn't say anything at first. He wrote Erica ... ood there staring at Eric like he was trying to understand crowd is his things G everyone is a stiff hand whispering. And the room wasn't waiting. Voices started where crowd is a gave a yawn is eyes isa whispering, and Ev knee reacting, whispering, filming. Bambi leaned into Spice and muttered, yo, this is going to be on every blog by tonight. Spice nodded, eyes locked on Erica like she couldn't believe what she just witnessed. The entire energy had flipped. No more jokes, no more retreat vibes. Just raw tension you could slice through. You didn't care when you were telling people I was unstable, that I couldn't be trusted. You said that, didn't you? Mendeecees didn't answer. You didn't have to. The silence said enough. Someone from the crew finally stepped in, trying to gently suggest a break. Maybe we take 5, he said quietly. But nobody moved. The cast was glued to the scene. Even Spice, who normally like hold her tongue, was quiet now. Eyes bouncing between the 3 of them like said, her heroes watching the final round of a fight nobody expected. And she couldn't hold it in any longer. Yandy. Broke.am. I have defended you. Shezzy husband, voice trembling. So many times, even when people told me not to, even when you threw me under the bus, and still here Ian. I'm standing between you and my husband, D, trying to stop you from turning this into something worse. Her voice cracked. Dio? And hear yourself? Erica didn't answer at first. She just stared. Then she said, maybe you should stop standing between us and start seeing who he really is. And that right there was the moment the last thread holding the room together snapped. Yandy's hands dropped. She stepped back slowly, not saying anything. Manunk on her face was pure devastation. She wasn't just hurt. She looked like someone who'd just seen her loyalty get torn up and thrown in her face. Menz looked over at her. Concern written all over his face, but he didn't touch her. Maybe he knew it wouldn't help. Maybe he was too stunned to move. The silence that followed was heavy. Even Erica looked like she realized she might have pushed too far, but by then, it was too late. The damage was done. Everybody knew this wasn't just reality TV anymore. This was personal. Deep, painful. Outside. The sky had turned dark. The retreat that was supposed to heal old wounds had opened new ones. And while the cameras kept rolling, the cast was left trying to figure out how they got here. How a trip, meant for peace, turned into a war of words, threats, and emotional wreckage. Nobody knew what would happen next. All they knew was that whatever came after this, nothing was going to be the same. Not the friendships, not the trust, not the show. Everything had changed in that one explosive moment. Nobody moved for a long while. The air felt thick, like if anybody even breathed. Too loud, it might set off another explosion. Mendeecees finally turned away, walking toward the edge of the patio with his hand-fist waves was his head. He wasn't pacing, just standing still, trying to collect himself. The camera zoomed in from a distance, catching him from the side. His fist waves mostly hidden, but the tension in his posture said it all. This wasn't the kind of drama you could walk away from. This was the kind that stuck quiet tea. Inside, Erica sat down slowly, like the weight of what she just unleashed was starting to sink in. She wasn't yelling anymore. Her voice had gone quiet tea and she just kept looking at her. Hands twisting a bracelet around her wrist like she was trying to distract herself. Yandy stood a few feet away, arms crossed tightly over her chest, face hard but eyes wet. She wasn't saying anything, but her silence was louder than any words she could have spoken. Spice leaned over to Bambi and whispered, "Yo, that went too far." Bambi nodded. "Way too far," she said. She really said she'd have him locked up on camera. Neither of them looked like they wanted to be near the center of it anymore. They weren't laughing. They weren't throwing shade. They were just watching like Eve. She. Then someone finally broke the silence. "It w Erica R? Arena stand off to the side, arms folded, eyebrows raised. "Can we just be real for Blackened?" Shie said, Heblix cutting through the quiet. "Erica, you mad?" "I get it. With it threatened Wevik to call the police on a black man in front of everybody like that." "Come on, we gotta be better than that." Erica looked up, her face tight. "I'm not apologizing for how I felt in that moment," she said. "I was." Triggered, Shakina shook her head. "I hear you. I reline, do. But line is a line and you crossed it. Whether you meant to or not, that kind of threat can ruin somebody's life." Erica blinked fast, but she didn't say anything back. Maybe because she knew there was some truth in what was just said. Maybe because she didn't want to admit it in front of all those cameras. Outside, Mendeecees finally came back in. His face was calmer now, but not peaceful. He looked tired, drained, like the weight of everything was finally catching up. He walked straight up to Yandy, lowered his voice, and sighed, "Oh, good?" Yandy didn't answer right away. She was still processing. Finally, she nodded slightly, but her eyes never left Erica. Voice turned it serious. "I don't know what I did to make you feel like that," he said. "But threatening to get me locked up. You crossed a line, and you know it." Erica met his eyes. "You've been judging me since day one," she said quietly. "You smile in my face, but I hear what you say behind my back." "You and Yandy both." Mendeecees shook his head. "No one's perfect." "Yeah, maybe we've said things, but you coming for me like that. It isn't right, especially not in front of all these people." He looked around the room, his voice getting just a little louder. "People already think they know us because of what they see on TV. But what they saw tonight, that isn't the full story. Either." Yandy finally spoke, her voice low and steady. "We all say things when we're hurt, but this," she paused. "This was different. You didn't just try to hurt him, you tried to destroy him. And you believed we didn't value your presence, respect you. That's not how you get respect, Erica." Erica stood up again. "I don't need a lecture from you." She said, "You've been fake with me for years. All that support you pretend to give is conditional only when it makes you look good. But the second I call something out, suddenly I'm the villain. You made yourself the villain tonight," Yandy said without flinching. "You did that all on your own." The words hit hard. Erica's jaw tightened. She looked like she wanted to fire back. Again, but something stopped her. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was the look in Yandy's eyes, completely done, completely shut down. The energy in the room was heavy. No one was yelling anymore. But somehow the silence was even more intense. Everyone was watching, waiting to see who would speak next and what move would be made. And then, out of nowhere, the sound of a phone. Alert broke the tension. One of the crew members looked down at their screen and gasped. "Yo," they said. "It's already online." Within seconds, everyone's phones were out. Social media had picked up the moment. The clip of Erica shouting, "I'll have you locked up," was already circulating. Pages were reposting it. Fans were dissecting it. The hashtags were flooding. Timelines hashtag AROKMINA, hashtag Mendeecees single quotes S, hashtag YonDY, and hashtag LHL season 13 were trending. People were picking sides in real time. Spice scrolled through her feed, shaking her head. "Yo, the comments are wild." Bambi leaned over, reading along. "Some people are saying Erica set him up. Okay, others are saying Mendeecees deserved it. And Yandy for a moment everything slowed down. Cameras were still rolling, but it felt like the world had gotten smaller. Just the three of them standing in the middle of a mess they couldn't undo. And then the door opened. A producer walked in, whispering something to another crew member. The message moved fast. VH1 was already requesting a review of the footage. The legal team had been notified just in case. It wasn't just drama anymore. This was business. And when that happens, things ... Yandy looked at the cameras, then at Mendeecees. They're not gonna let this die down, are they? He shook his head. Not with that clip out there. Erica stayed silent. Her phone buzzed again. Another message. Another blog repost. The weight of what she'd said was catching up fast, and you could see it settling on her shoulders. Thought outside, the air was cool. But inside the retreat house, everything was still burning. The damage had been done. Trust shattered. Reputations are on the line. And while the world watched through their screens, only the people in that room knew how real it really felt. This wasn't a storyline anymore. This was the cost of being seen, the cost of speaking too loud, and the cost of pushing too far. And nobody knew if there was a way back, not this time. Later that night, the retreat house was quiet in a way that didn't feel peaceful. It felt broken. Usual laughter, the late-night drinks, the confessional-style convos in the kitchen. None of that was happening. Dead, rooms were closed off, lights dimmed early, and the few cast members still hanging around were speaking in whispers. Outside? On the back patio, Yandy sat alone, wrapped in a blanket, staring out into the trees. Her phone buzzed every few seconds, but she didn't look down. She already knew what it was. More clips, more comments, more noise. Inside, Mendeecees paced the hallway. He hadn't slept, hadn't eaten, and couldn't stop replaying everything in his head. The way Erica had said those words, the way the room had reacted, and the way Yandy's face changed when the internet took over. The story wasn't just about the moment anymore. It was about everything that came after. How do you recover from being accused on camera and threatened with police involvement while the world watches in real time? In another part of the house, Erica sat curled on the edge of a bed, scrolling through her messages. Some people were backing her up, saying she was brave for.